I am right now in one of the most beautiful countries in Europe. That is going through its hardest time. So I am at the main square of Kyiv, Ukraine right now, during the war, filming it as it started for already over 2.5 years. Bullet holes. I don't know if it's still dry. In today's video I want to take you along a little bit, show you how the life in many ways continues on the ground, how it feels. So I've already been here for a couple of weeks, and today I want to take you through a couple of different cities, today mostly focusing on Kyiv, and yeah, show you a little bit the history, even more so show you the beauty right now of the city of Kyiv. So this is the Maidan. This is where the revolution happened in 2014, starting I think in November of 2013. This is what this let's say installation there is dedicated to. We have like a I love Ukraine sign here, a memorial to the fallen soldiers. And I have to tell you, coming here I had no idea really what to expect. The thing is, depending where you are, I want to also talk to you about a lot of people, especially on Instagram, been asking me, is it safe to come right now? Can you? And I want to talk about that as well. Like, obviously tourism is nothing how it used to be here. So today a very different vibe of my videos than it usually is. Share with you a little bit. The city of Kyiv itself is probably one of the safest places in the country. They have an air missile defense system. But while I was here, some things happened, starting from sometimes there's no electricity to sometimes you hear loud explosions. A couple of blocks away, for me also in many ways was important to shoot a bit of a video, give you an idea of the country, how it really is right now in different cities. As of right now, I've been already recording in the city of Kharkiv, which I'm telling you, when I told my mom I'm coming here and I'm going there, she was not happy about it, but so it's basically very, very close to the front line. Want to cover the neighboring town of Irpin and Bucha, where basically during the beginning of the invasion, that's where a lot of the major battles took place, and you still see it. So all of that you're gonna see today, but let's start. Let me take you along on a bit of a tour through Kyiv. The sun will be slowly setting. This Maidan, the Independence Square. The metro to get here, and in many ways when the war first kicked off, this is where people were looking for shelter. And I mean, on one side the metro stations are absolutely beautiful, on the other side, especially when I just first arrived here, kind of like, you know, the things you saw on the news, to see them for real on the ground, very reminiscent of Second World War shots from like London when people were hiding in the metros on the ground. And yeah, let's go for a little bit of a walk to some of the main churches, some of the main cathedrals, because the beauty of Kyiv is here no matter what. Got a special guest joining for the video. Let's go. So this is Lisa over here, my local guide. Yeah, my local guide. So yeah, summer in Kyiv right now.
Yeah, very hot days.
What's our plan?
So right now we're going to the to some church,
the Golden Dome Cathedral.
Yeah,
that's where we headed to.
I'm the guide here.
And so in many ways Lisa really showed me a lot of new sides of Kyiv. I understood it much more, like the Dnieper River. I obviously knew it's flowing through here, but just seeing it from where you live, it's absolutely beautiful. We're gonna head there in a little bit as well. Many new neighborhoods I didn't know even existed. You told me that the city is actually quite like, what is it, like elevated sometimes? Yeah. I didn't know that. I thought it was like more flat. I absolutely love it. The Ukrainian underpaths, kind of like, for me, a really authentic thing in the way they sell like little baked goods always. And as you see, the city is busy. It is like 6 p.m. right now, so people coming from work, going home, And that is obviously to the fact that life needs to continue. We're going to talk a little bit later. A lot of things that really surprised me that I didn't expect in terms of, yeah, how people are really trying to make the best of it. Here's a huge flower shop, no matter what. Love this happening. Here's a little... Which flowers you like?
Yes.
Oh my god, guess? Out of these? Your favorite flower is this one? No? Which one?
Why? You're disappointing me. This one.
This one? It's not even real.
Called gypsophilia. They are real. They're just
Gypsophilia?
dried. Gypsophilia.
Okay.
Like some disease.
Yeah.
And they are just painted in different colors. But this one is not good when they are big and there are lots of them. They are so tall. Walking into the side street of the Independence Square, walking uphill, as mentioned before. And here you really see it, the side roads of Kyiv. That's what I love about the city. You have these huge squares, these ginormous buildings, and then very sweet, very cozy side streets right in the city center. So we're approaching right now some of the main cathedrals that have been here for pretty much since the Kievan Rus. And also in the back there's the Golden Gate, very famous gate, I think over 1,000 years old. Kind of like it used to be the entrance into the city. The area around there is also absolutely beautiful. Super nice shops, super nice cafes, and everything, especially in Kyiv, is operating. This is something that you might be surprised by, but the thing is, people really try to continue their life, especially compared to the other cities. What I felt, Kyiv is the busiest one for many reasons. I think from all over Ukraine, people actually came here as well. So we are right now in front of the golden domed cathedral. I would say one of the most beautiful I've ever seen. But also here is an installation of, yeah, Russian destroyed military equipment. We got tanks, we had other military vehicles, and it's kind of like a memorial installation. This is, I believe, one of the ministries. So basically, very often when you're seeing news, this is where it's filmed. And like I mentioned before, life in Kyiv is continuing, but this is where you see what is happening on the front lines, which from here are fairly far away, but just walking by some of these beautiful, very old cathedrals, you're seeing this as well. So here's installations. I think, yeah, this is from Mariupol. Seeing the soldiers, seeing the destroyed cities, seeing some pictures on the other side I have just seen that I could not show you here right now on YouTube. There is a man playing what I would obviously believe to be Ukrainian music, absolutely setting the mood. And yeah, very, very heavy installation. You know what the man is playing? What is this instrument? I've never seen it. I don't know how it's called.
Yeah.
But it's like old Ukrainian melody.
Very cool. Seriously. I'm like walking around here, he's playing this music in the background.
Yeah, heavy.
Yeah. So, I think this installation has been here for quite a while. Recently I actually walked through here. There was like, I believe it was American, kind of like newscast. Some guy, didn't recognize him, but he was when the jets have been delivered to Ukraine, I believe. So yeah, the entrance here, it's maybe $1 or $2. You can go in. I've done it last time I was here many years ago at this point. So yeah, good to be back. A square that I love to walk through, but at the same time, fairly heavy. So very much so. I want to show you what is, in my opinion, the most beautiful part of Kyiv. Let's walk there. A bit of an elevation. Let's go to the descent. Andriivsky
Church. Right.
Let's go. So this building, I've never actually walked that close to it. So what is it? Ministerstwo Zakordonnych Spraw?
Yeah, it's a Ministry of International...
Foreign Affairs, I guess.
Yeah, it's basically the office of president.
All right. So maybe we're gonna...
Yeah, it was... there were an explosion in the beginning of the war somewhere nearby. They tried to bomb the office of President Zelensky. Hello.
And another very interesting sign that I've just seen is "See you in Ukraine," or no, what was it? "See you in Kyiv after the victory." So it's kind of like an informational sign. And what I was actually quite curious is, I've got a lot of questions like, can you come to Ukraine right now, and things like that. And then I looked up actually foreign visitors. So before the invasion of 22, it was around like last couple of years, I think 12, 14 million. Some years before 20 million, so let's say 10 to 20 million people. And now, last year, 23, it was 2.5 million people, actually still, and 1 million of tourist visitors to Kyiv, which kind of surprised me. Fairly large number, and as you see, like, you can come to the country only through land border, obviously. No airports are operating, so from Poland, Romania, what else is there? Slovakia? Moldova, obviously. And going in, the visa regulations are the same. Oh, there we are already.
Yeah.
Crazy, right here.
Oh.
Yeah, you wanted to go like all the way around. St. Andrew's Descent.
Yeah, so it was always very busy before the invasion, and it was like a market with different stuff, with Ukrainian souvenirs, Ukrainian Ukrainian shirts. Vyshivanka, right. There were lots of it, and lots of Ukrainian restaurants, very unique and very stylish.
But still here, right?
Yeah, some of them are, but I remember this place as a very crowded one. And
one thing you told me in Budapest, remember you did this carol?
Yeah, I used it in my stories, and you was like, why?
Yeah, why do you use this, what is it called? It's called
it's something
Carol of the
Shedrik.
Bells.
Yeah, in Ukrainian it's called Shedrik, and it's like a Christmas song, famous Christmas song. And
yeah, it's by Ukrainian composer. I looked it up. Wrote in 1914, Mykola Leontovich.
Leontovich, right.
And basically, it's a world famous song, and it was performed for the first time ever up here.
It's famous and it's Ukrainian.
I think very few people know that. Obviously, it has been like rewritten by different composers, different versions over the years, but this is the source of it. So, to me, very, very interesting. So we're walking down, seeing some really nice cafes, and what actually surprised me coming here is seeing, first of all, I always knew service, like different restaurants, coffee shops, always have been great in Ukraine, but thinking of the situation, you would think, especially in the beginning, I'm sure, like lots of places probably closed down. Yeah, super nice.
Yeah, but lots of them opened because lots of people from east of Ukraine relocated to Kyiv and to many other cities. So there are lots of new places, and the service is as good as I remember before war, and yeah, it's the best in the world.
What basically Patriot. What surprised What surprised me is that they're opening also a lot of new restaurants. So a lot of people relocated. Kyiv, I would say, is the busiest city I have experienced. And it's really good to see because people are really here to stay. People are living, new businesses are opening up. Obviously, some old ones you're seeing have closed down. But at the same time, I think this is like a major misconception. There is the front line. There is all the things you're seeing are happening, luckily fairly far away from here. And after all this time, It's actually quite amazing to see the resilience of the people, how they really continue to live their life. Everybody's aware of it. You certainly feel it in conversations whenever something happens, which is usually every other week, if not day. But at the same time, I think especially considering that hopefully sometime soon a lot of people and businesses perhaps that have left or couldn't survive, Kyiv, like I will talk about it later, I've always felt like it's one of the best, and in my opinion, a couple of years ago, up and coming cities in Europe. I've seen a lot of people even moving here, so it's really amazing to see that everything is open, or at least a lot, and operating. And obviously, okay, there's a generator. You used to hear it all the time because there used to be huge problems until a couple of days ago, really.
We don't have light at home also.
Right now? So it's back.
Yeah.
So basically the first couple of weeks that I got here, there was huge electricity outages, sometimes all day long, sometimes half day, which is, you know, you can work around it. If you live on a 24th floor, it becomes a bit more tricky, let's say. Lots of cardio involved, but you get used to these things, and luckily in the last couple of days it got a lot better. So basically a lot of electricity infrastructure has been hit, which caused a lot of power outages all over the country, really, most cities we went to.
But now blackouts are back.
They're back? So it was, okay.
Today is the first day of blackout.
So like some type of little street sign, let's check it out, what they're selling there. So guys, you're seeing we're walking down like with a proper incline. Last time walked it up, but it's really, really worth it. So I think this is what this neighborhood is very famous in many ways for, kind of like really creative stuff, artsy stuff. People here are choosing their rings, and wow, I got some nice rings actually. Cool. Nice.
Ukraine.
Nice. Nothing. Here, good. Guys, look at that. Oh, that's what I call a car. Don't know what happened here, but actually outside of the capital you still see them a lot. It's kind of like the only car during Soviet times, pretty much. 2-3 models. And Kyiv, very rarely see them. Obviously here it's more like of an advertisement. Oh yeah, but at the same time it's not like how it used to be, right? Right now. So towards down on the street, very quiet. But we're heading to another neighborhood that you showed me. You told me it's your favorite.
It was my favorite when I was young.
Let's check it out. Podil, with the giant Ferris wheel, which is fairly medium-sized. So we made it to Podil. Lisa went to Silpo supermarket. So the very famous, I told you about the giant Ferris wheel. I have to tell you, the square is absolutely beautiful, and in many ways with today's video I want to shine some light on one side on the situation here on the ground, because as much as Kyiv shows signs of mostly normal life outside of power outages, the noise you hear is the generators we talked about, electricity. Lots of people left the country, lots of tourism is not obviously coming to the country, and there's a lot of confusion of when you see the normal shots. But for me, truly, it's amazing to see that the country is living, and hopefully, like the sign says, see you in Kyiv after the victory. This is the Podil Square. In the last couple of weeks I've been here a couple of times, especially on the weekends. Still it gets fairly busy, but from what Lisa told me is usually it's completely packed. It's maybe half of what it normally is. The guy is playing like a Scottish, how do you call those things? Tut-tut-tut. And Ferris wheel usually was not operating, is operating right now. It's pretty cool. So some government buildings, nice red and blue hotel, and to talk about if you can travel to Ukraine right now. In the major cities like Kyiv, Lviv, I would say it's reasonably safe. In terms of like petty crime, Ukraine always has been really safe. I feel like right now nothing changed about that from the couple people that I talked to. It's gonna be fine, but of course there's always the risk. You never know how the situation is gonna develop. I never know how this video is gonna age, but I definitely wanted to, yeah, use the chance. And while I decided to come out here, also to document the way it is right now, and of course hoping that soon the streets are gonna be back to how they used to be. And like you see, that is the thing. Like, I've been getting a lot of comments like, hey, why is there people in restaurants? Why does it seem normal? If you have followed any of the wars, like, I've obviously digged much deeper into it, especially while being here. If you look at World War II, when England has been bombed all the time, life in London continued in one way or another. People are hiding when there is an air alarm, air raid, another thing that happens very, very frequently. Luckily, usually nothing happens, but sometimes, yes, a missile strikes the city, or at least an intercepted one. The remains of it fall wherever. And the economy obviously needs to continue. Some people need to stay, work, obviously gastronomical businesses, people eating out, having drinks. Whoever is here, whoever still can sustain themselves, obviously the economy needs to continue. And that's what I said about like many new restaurants also opening up. That is really good to see that not everything is on hold, especially in Kyiv and other cities, not as much. You're going to see that later on. So fully stocked supermarkets. Obviously when the invasion started, I remember watching videos, people buying empty the supermarkets. That situation lasted for a while, but for now I absolutely love the supermarkets and different produce. This is heaven. Seriously, I don't know what it is about Ukrainian ice cream, if it's the milk quality, if it's the way they make it, but no other supermarket has as good of ice cream as they have over here. I'm actually also noticing here, this Silpo, one of the major chains, is inside of a really nice old building. So very common in Ukraine is self-checkout, like obviously in many countries, but you have to say you can use Apple Pay in almost everywhere, even in like really old, like even in the metro you can use it. Tap almost everywhere. And all the way towards sunset, made it down here in Kyiv to the river port. I think right now it's not operating, right? Interesting. So Ukraine flag, US flag hanging there. So yeah, beautiful spot to take in the sunset a little bit. Again, you told me back in the day this was very busy on the weekends, right?
Yeah.
So we've been here a couple days ago, fairly quiet, but still nice, a vibe.
Dancing, social
Oh
dance,
yeah.
it's very cute.
So we filmed that in your video as well, right? So basically, Lisa has a good, nice catalog of Ukraine videos now. Go check it out.
Lisa Chaika, subscribe.
Biggest fan. And I would say, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take in the sunset here, and then tomorrow, I wanna, today's video really, I wanna show you how it is on the ground right now. Some of, let's say, the hard parts of the situation, but also very much so the beauty of Ukraine. We're gonna get to that a little bit after. So if you're ever thought, how is Kyiv, how does it look, I think by now you have a good idea. But another spot that I was very interested to visit is when the invasion started in February of 2022. Basically, there was tens of thousands of troops rolling towards Kyiv, and a couple of cities for I believe a month have been taken. And this is where we want to go and see how it is there right now. It has been freed for a long time already, but the destruction there and the things that happened there, let's find out about it a bit more. For now, the beauty of Kyiv.
Beautiful city.
This is actually a pedestrian bridge right there. Did Klitschko build this one?
Yeah, Klitschko built this one.
Did he build the glass bridge as well?
As well.
So I think we're gonna see each other on the glass bridge after a little expedition. снимаем.
Хорошо?
Себя снимаем. As long as there's one person in the world who wishes to rent a car, and as long as there's one car for rent, we have a job to do, no matter what. I don't think it's a Ukrainian company, but either way.
Бензинчик 95-й. Просто писать на це настраивать, я еще пару помещик сделаю.
I think it's gonna be a great way to go a little bit off road, go to some villages. There's a very particular plan I have in mind to go to a couple of cities that really suffered, especially at the beginning of the war, which I want to see how they are right now. And yeah, that's gonna be the transport for that. Let's hit the streets. Haven't driven ever in this country before, I think, so let's go. So guys, right now we are approaching the 3 towns that during the beginning of the invasion have been occupied, and just driving in we're starting to see they rebuilt it heavily. It's already over 2 years ago at this point, but signs are still remaining, so it's very interesting. Let's see. Guys, so we're approaching right now the town of Irpin, and already on the outskirts what we're seeing is here is some type of building. Don't really know what it used to be. So the thing is, it's already 2 years ago, and as I can see, they're rebuilding, repainting like crazy here. These 3 towns have been, some of them completely destroyed, occupied for pretty much a month during the beginning of the invasion. And I think driving by I saw some bullet holes. I'm not sure, maybe we can ask someone, but yeah, let's go for a little walk. So this is still pretty much abandoned. Here is a building, they're repainting it right now. And yeah, this used to be pretty much active war zone at the beginning of the invasion. Broken down windows, seeing some bullet holes. Literally inside of a destroyed building right now. It looks like this place has been bombed. Some old cars standing here. So just walking down the road, on the side of it there's a truck, old marshutka, full of bullet holes. I don't know if it's still driving, probably not. Don't know how long it has been standing here, but yeah. Inside a bicycle, some kind of things, and you know what that is? That is guys, a Sleepy Town kiosk. And what we're finding on it is huge bullet holes taped up with tape. So just a neighborhood town selling chocolates, selling drinks. Been shot up. Back and fully operational. The best card game in the world. Over here right now, peaceful, sunny. We have some apples growing, somebody's house. and right next to it, something that used to be somebody's house. Ukraine flag waving and basically completely bombed a row of houses. Need to take off here. Yeah, it's definitely quite crazy to walk through here because most of the town is rebuilt or fixed up, but still you're seeing some destroyed houses, bullets in the old ones. But at the same time, life goes on here. 2 years after it has been recaptured. 2.5 almost. So guys, what seems like a sleepy, peaceful little town, there's people's town, houses, fruits are growing, a lot of self-sustaining people living here. We are in the town of Bucha, and to be more precise, on one of the streets where during the first invasion this town was occupied. The main battle was in the town I showed you before, but basically when it was freed, the things that they found out that happened here, basically just look it up. Bucha is very, very sad. I don't even think I could go into detail in this video what exactly happened during the month of occupation, but let's say like that. The people here suffered immensely, and just driving through these roads is truly heavy. Interesting. So lake right next to it, people are enjoying the lake, and actually looks really nice. Here's like a, what is it called?
Tarzanka.
Like a Tarzanka.
But
You can,
it's a crazy one.
yeah,
You hop on and jump into the water from the Tarzanka, but it's killable.
yeah. You need to swing a lot if you want to do that. You need to swing a lot if you want to jump to the water here. And here, Шановні бучанці, не скидайте сміття в озеро. Basically, don't throw trash in the river. In the lake. Look at that, just going down the road, and there's like basically a sign. It says mine, which basically they're saying that around here is a minefield, still probably. Especially obviously during the operations here, during the defense of Kyiv. It has been all full of mines. And don't go in the bushes, that's what it says. To kończy zaspał. Not sure what it is. Just drove down the road, some type of national park or something like that, and this place looks like it's a couple of decades, if not many decades in the past. So we have this old building, you see many of them, but this kind of old cars you don't see anywhere really anymore. So it's kind of like national park, old neighborhood. Stop by to go to a little store. Let's see how life looks here.
А почему персики? 90
У тебя есть наличка? Да. Found a little local shop on the street. If you know, you know. Hot dogs, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Nowhere in the world. With exception. Walk gas station, the bread is so nice. Sausage is nice. Woo! Road trip. So, arrived finally somewhere. Put a dot on the map, kind of wanted to see a little bit. I call it a lake, it looks like a lake on the map, but it's the Dnieper River, the biggest one in Ukraine, right? So, let's see. Oh, you can drive in there, okay, that's good to know. But no, what I think is really interesting is they have these, I think, all season trees, really, because not
I don't know how to call it in English.
yeah, some kind of freaky pine tree, very long, only on the top they got the leaves, and honestly it looks better than on Google Maps, right?
Right.
Pretty nice, maintained. So it's supposed to have some type of restaurant. Let's check it out. So made it down to the water, and it's crazy, you know, when you're in the city of Kyiv, the Dnieper is like, you know, if you're a bit crazy, you're like, I can swim that. You can't. But here it just looks like one never-ending huge lake. In the very back, obviously, you see the land again. And yeah, some kind of like little very nice fancy dacha complex. So they got these houses there and kind of like a pool, restaurant here. You know, as I told you in the beginning of the video, I also very much want to show you the nice places around the country, and this is kind of like a little mental escape, I think, for the people of Kyiv. You get out here, it's quiet, nothing much going on. So made your way into the water.
Yeah, I'm a mermaid.
Well, let's go down, let's check it out. And so guys, on another day, another very sunny day back in Kyiv, I just came out, went to the gym for the first time in my life. I took like one of these electric scooters that are all over the world in most cities. For some reason, never tried them out, but today to get from one part to the other through Pechersk, through this wide road, it was fun. And now we are in one of my favorite, I would say, kind of like walking spots. I wasn't living anywhere too close by, so only 3, 4, 5 times I passed through here. So basically here is the Rainbow Arc, and a very cool kind of like pedestrian slash cyclist bridge. Cyclists have a hard time, too many pedestrians on it all the time. And basically it has been constructed under, I think, let's say the initiative of the mayor of Kyiv, Vitaly Klitschko. I don't know too much about him other than he used to be a boxer with his brother, pretty much ruled the heavyweight division with their, let's say, conservative fighting style, like unbeatable for the most part. Then at the end he lost to Fury, and now the, what is it, undisputed heavyweight belts are back in Ukraine with Alexander Usyk, which was actually kind of like a nice closing to an arc that I had as a younger boy. You know, I was watching the fight when Vladimir lost against Fury. But basically, yeah, his older brother has been the mayor for a long time. I don't know, internationally you don't hear too much about him, but this glass pedestrian bridge, I would say, adds really a nice, I don't know, like a little different dimension, somewhat modernity into, in very many ways, a very old city. So basically where we started earlier the video during sunset was down there. Super cool spot to kind of like take it in a little bit. And what I wanted to talk on that occasion is also the fact that over the years I've been, I think for the first time I came to Kyiv like properly by myself was 2017. And since then I've seen it evolve, grow, and especially around 2021 I've seen a very large influx of people really from all over the world coming here, making it their base, kind of like in Europe, call it Eastern Europe if you want. But honestly, I thought really the, on one side, of course, cost of living, but even more so, very much a big city flair. It used to be connected all over the world with, you know, the airport, different airlines, fly to Turkey, fly to the Emirates. I've seen a lot of people also like with different online businesses coming to Kyiv, and I was very much considering it also like from Europe. I feel like it's one of the nicest cities, especially if you take into account the comparable costs. It's very safe most of the time. Right now outside, I think here actually nearby was a missile strike. I think I've seen it at some point. The bridge luckily went unscathed, but yeah, walking right now into the big greenery park. Definitely another one of my favorite spots. But also it's a bit of a, yeah, sad moment, because gonna be leaving Kyiv soon, Ukraine soon. Really got a bit of a feeling, and there's a couple more cities I want to take you along. Odessa for sure, I haven't out filmed there yet, so maybe we'll take you along. Kharkiv, maybe you've seen it already. But yeah, basically this is the pedestrian bridge, looks super cool. Down there is another pedestrian bridge, I don't know if that one's new, but yeah. What I was also talking a little bit about is that I hope that hopefully rather sooner than later Kyiv will be back internationally. As of right now, there is a bit of an expat community, I believe, but generally you don't see many foreigners. Like I mentioned, 1 million tourism visitors, but considering such a huge city, I rarely hear any like English being spoken currently. Whereas if you're curious, if you're watching this video, I have to say that over the years, the Ukrainian, like let's say local population, especially in Kyiv, the English becomes better and better. And people are also excited to speak it. Whenever I walk around, like I speak pretty good Russian, okay Ukrainian, I understand it for the most part. And then when people hear me speaking English, everybody wants to strike up a conversation. So that is, you're gonna be good in terms of that, for sure. So right now we are in another neighborhood, Arsenalna. Also didn't know it before, Lisa showed it to me, and it's kind of like nice, I don't know exactly when they built it, but like a really modern, nice street, nice restaurants, nightlife I believe is happening here. Another thing to mention, there's no such thing right now. There's a curfew at midnight, and after that you can only go out with like special permission. So yeah, you know, most restaurants close 10, 11, maybe latest, if it's real late these days. But we're not here for the nice streets or anything. I know that down there, something quite interesting for me at least. Let's check it out. We are right now in a bit of a different part of town, overlooking lots of Kyiv, and I wanted to come out to this monument, overall very historical area. We're gonna work our way through it, but this is basically the Holodomor monument dedicated to the famine of I believe 1932 to 33. So basically back then, when the Soviet Union was formed, Ukraine was a republic of it. And generally this part of the world is very famous. Like Ukraine is very famous for its very fertile land. Let me just take a look at it. Beautiful. But due to that, you know, one of the most biggest kind of like things about the Soviet Union was they had certain quotas that different parts of the, let's say back then, the Soviet Union territory had to meet. And especially hard hit was Ukraine, because there were certain quotas they had to meet. So all the grain was taken away from the people and they starved. And to be in particular, to current estimations, is 3.5 to 5 million people have died. The gifts of communism at display. I actually even remember a story from my grandmother. She was saying that, yeah, her parents lived and survived through that time where, yeah, people have been homeless, people didn't have any food, and what a history, you know. Heavy to walk around. The Holodomor monument, dedicated to the millions of children victims of the Holodomor genocide of 1932-33. So Ukraine was really particularly hit. Yeah, heavy place. I made it to Pechersk Lavra. Basically this church is absolutely legendary. Founded in, just look it up, 1051, almost 1,000 years old. Basically, if you have a good view of it, you see the river, you see these golden domed set of cathedral, and underground is a system of tunnels, a very old one. And yeah, here you're seeing parts of it. We're just right outside of it. There's a priest, and basically this is, you could say, the center of Orthodox Christianity in this part of the world. Pretty much the most important church complex, and just seeing it from any part of the city. I'm actually seeing it from the window of where I've been staying here. Absolutely beautiful. So I walked into one of the exhibitions. It's called Ukraine's Crucifixion, and basically they got pieces from the war, some of the equipment, as you see, these kind of things.
Всі речі перевезені з Гостомельського укриття. Вмикайте ліхтарі, телефони.
So in this museum is basically a reimagined situation during the occupation of Gostomel, the town we visited earlier by car, where they tried to occupy the airfield to get like further supplies in. So all of that is freed, but basically this is where a whole month some of the people in these type of conditions were, yeah, hiding. Okay, дякую. And so here we are in front of the tallest concrete monument in the world. Good bit taller than the Statue of Liberty. Back in the day, it used to have the hammer and sickle on it. They have replaced it with the Ukraine emblem. And it looks on the one side absolutely beautiful. So for the most part, this complex used to be a World War II memorial for, yeah, the memory of the fallen soldiers of that time, which the amount of people has been absolutely, you know, but as of right now it is as well. I've just walked into one of the museums. It's called Ukraine Crucifixion, which there's kind of like a reinstatement of how people were hiding during occupation of the neighboring towns of Kyiv that I've showed you, of Gostomel. And I have to tell you, just standing in front of it, it's absolutely massive. Like, if you've been watching the channel, you know, in terms of different, be it architecture, be it modern architecture, be it historical buildings, this is truly, you know, a huge structure. And you see it pretty much anywhere where you get a view of Kyiv. You see the mother looking at you, or the back of it, depending what part of the city you're at. So yeah, there's another big museum there. Национальный музей истории Украины. Basically history museum of Ukraine. Actually, I've been here before once. Took my mom here. Actually, there is a very limited amount of people, I believe, every day or in certain seasons that can go up, I believe, on the sword or the, basically, or maybe the head, I'm not sure. Basically, somewhere there, you can climb up all the way. And from what I've seen inside, it's kind of like first come, first serve type of concept. Definitely one day want to do it. I'm sure amazing view from up there, but also here in the very back, you're seeing the Lavra, the churches. Here we have a Ukrainian tank. It looks like today is very busy. Lots of tour groups, lots of people visiting, some cameras. So yeah, very historical place. full of history, and in terms of just the place, it's a little bit hard to get here actually. Like there is no direct transportation, so either a taxi or get yourself ready for a nice walk, but truly worth visiting to understand the long history. So this was Kyiv over a few days, filmed as of August 2024, and in the next video I want to take you to a few cities, including Kharkiv, which is very close to the front line.
Mine is coming.
The one in particular, but basically a rocket hit right in the city center. And generally the goal of this video series is to shine a light on the ongoing conflict, to show you how on the one side life is affected, but also how it continues, and even more so the beauty of this country.